Great. Thank you, Stephanie. And you can see the slides okay, I hope.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So welcome, everybody. Appreciate everyone joining today. And as Steph already mentioned, appreciate everyone's flexibility in moving this. My apologies for that. But we just weren't able to get it done last week. So happy that everyone is able to join us today. We were just discussing, we think this might be the first one we've done. We know it's been quite a while since we've done one at a minimum, so we're very happy to be able to do that for you today. Steph already went ahead and gave you lots about me. So my name is James Fitzpatrick. I'm the Manager of Regulatory Compliance at Newell Brands. A little bit about Newell Brands. So Newell Brands is our parent company. They own a number of brands that you probably use every day. Sharpie, Rubbermaid, Contigo. There's a number of brands. I couldn't even tell you everything that they own. Two of the ones that we're going to focus on today and why everyone is here is Graco and Baby Jogger. So when we say Newell Brands, that's actually the parent company that owns Graco and Baby Jogger products. As for myself, as Steph mentioned, I am currently the chair of CPS and very happy to do so, working with our manufacturer friends. I am a member of the National Child Passenger Safety Board. I am not presenting in that capacity today, so please keep that in mind. We're here representing Newell Brands and Graco Baby Jogger, not the board today. Also fun because I got bored over COVID. I got certified in traffic collision reconstruction. It's way more math than I ever thought I would want to do, but it's a very interesting program and certainly beneficial to the kind of things we do. So we're going to jump right in and start talking about some of the product updates and how the new federal standards have affected those. So we'll get into that. It's going to cover both as we go through. So the first one to keep in mind, and I'm sure this is not the first people have seen of this, is the weight rating changes. So our infant car seats, the maximum weight is going to be reduced from 35 pounds to 30 pounds, and going forward, seats will be 30 pounds maximum weight in the market. We haven't changed the lower end, so you're still looking at 4 pounds on the majority of infant seats. For our convertible and all-in-one and harness boosters, those are going to go to 26.5 pounds as a starting weight instead of the 22. So these are the regulated changes, and we're going to be following as such. You're going to see a number of, obviously, products in market, and there's going to be a period of crossover. So it's good to address that now. We do like to tell everybody that seats manufactured prior to these updates are still safe to use. So you're going to see these in market. This is a manufacturing date, not an on sale date. So you're going to see product that meets old standards. You're going to see product that meets new standards. The reality is that they are tested to different regulations. It's not necessarily that one is safer than the other. So you're still completely safe to use products that are not expired, that meet the old regulation. You're just going to see a variety of products in market for a while. And this is going to be across all brands, of course, so everyone's going to go through this. I don't think we can stress enough, and I know if my pal Haversteck is on here today, she'll be going, yes, please continue to stress it, that the seats are safe to use. So if they were previously made, still good to go. What you are going to see a lot of times, at least from us, is some physical changes to the product. So this green arrow here is pointing to some of these bumpers or bolsters that you may see on product. They're going to stick out a little bit. They are a little bit different than what you've seen in the past, and a little bit bulkier on side to side on some of the seats. And these are, of course, there because of side impact. So some of the different side impact changes have required us to make some of these physical changes to product. And you're going to see some of these starting to hit market now as you purchase some of these seats. A couple of different things that we are looking to update some of the restrictions on our convertible and all-in-one seats. So the infant supports, which is the infant head support and body support, will be used to 20 pounds or less. These are optional fits. You do not have to use them. These are for the kids that need that little bit extra room and space to be able to sit properly. So we are working with our teams to align and update to make these 20 pounds across the board instead of some of the variety you've seen in the past. Again, because we are going to see a mix in market, make sure you're following the manuals and the labels on the actual support itself. So if there is a restriction on the weight of the infant support, it's labeled on the product itself. There are a couple of new inserts that are going to go along with side impact that you may see in a couple of seats, which are now going to be on some of our Forever and Grows for Me models. These are obviously designed to help with side impact testing. So for these, for children 40 pounds or less, you're going to have to use the seat insert on the sides. That's not the infant insert. That's this particular insert with the extra padding on the side. For children over 40 pounds, you must remove the seat insert. So once they get past that 40 pound, you're going to take that out of there and not continue to use it after that. And these pictures are a good kind of demonstration of, you see that bolster on the side as well, where it's just kind of sticking out, where you can kind of make it out. When you're head on with the seat, you're not necessarily going to see it, but from this kind of little side angle twist, you'll be able to see those bolsters fairly clearly. We've been asked a ton about this, and the question keeps coming up is, what about lap belts? Because there is no more testing regulated for lap belts within the regulation. And the reality is a couple of things. Number one, you will still be able to install a car seat using a lap belt. This is not going away. We understand that there are still vehicles that use lap belts, and that's fine. The thing is that they're not regulated testing. So we don't have to regulate testing with lap belts any longer, which is great for us, but we've obviously had to pick up additional testing with side impact and other things. A number of manufacturers, including us, may still do some lap belt testing internally just to see how things go. The important thing here is what NHTSA has said, and what we've known for quite a number of years, is that lower anchors are a very reasonable surrogate for the performance of lap belts in testing. So we know how they work, we know exactly how they're going to perform in a crash test, so you can continue to use those lap belts. You don't have to worry about that. It's just a matter of, we're not necessarily testing with lap belts only for regulated testing any longer. Continue to use them. Aircraft is fine. You're going to be able to use them for the seats that are approved for FAA use. No worries. So continue to use them in those older vehicles that have the lap belts. Wanted to give a little bit of love to our Baby Jogger team today. So there's not a lot of new stuff yet. There will be some upcoming, obviously, side impact changes. We just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of the products that are on market. This is one of my favorite brands. I love the products. There's a lot of work that goes into them. So please. Oh, wow. Didn't know there was a video there. Sorry about that. So the first one is the City Turn convertible seat. So our City Turn, obviously convertible seat. With this particular seat, it rotates rear facing only. So there is you rotate the seat to either direction, whichever side you're on. You can install the seat rear facing and it will rotate 180. Once you go to turn the seat around and use it in forward facing mode, it installs more like a traditional installation through the seat back, so you will not be able to rotate the seat any longer. It does have a couple of different features, and one of the ones that is very popular with technicians, obviously, is that this seat does go up to 50 pounds rear facing. It does have a rapid lock off on the base and on the seat back for a nice secure install in seconds. A couple of different features here, and we put this slide on mainly to highlight the price point for you, which is $549. I usually don't know the prices, so thank you so much to the marketing team for getting this stuff to us, because I never remember what the prices are. The other one available through Baby Jogger right now is a City Go 2. A couple of features here. This one does include an anti-rebound bar. Also has that rapid lock base for secure installation, nice and quick. So it's a nice lock off. Currently 4 to 35 pounds. That will be going down to 30 pounds based on the new regulation that is coming out shortly. So another little few touch points on the City Go 2 here, and the price point on this one is $349. It's been out of market for a while. When we take these to conferences and stuff, we love to highlight them because not everybody sees them all the time. We don't see them as often as Graco, so we like to get them out there and get them in tech's hands as much as possible. Baby Jogger's current lineup, so a number of strollers that are available on the market, along with the car seats, as well as a high chair. Love the products, as I said, really great strollers. If you have that active lifestyle, it's a great selection for your family out there. So we're going to get into talking about some of the Graco new product updates and launches. Before we dive into this, I want to give a huge shout out to our marketing team, our brand team, our R&D team, our testing team, all the guys on the TechCom who handle labels and manuals. This has been a massive undertaking with this new regulation. As you know, we make a lot of seats. There's a lot of different ones on market. This has been an ongoing, basically nonstop testing and evaluation for months. So huge thank you to the teams who work really hard. I'm proud to have such amazing teams to work with. They're a great group of people and extremely passionate about the products we put out. So first one, which we have just launched and is just starting to hit stores now, is the new GoMax infant car seat. I can see all of you online right now going, yay, it's not named Snug Ride. And you are correct, it is not. It is GoMax infant car seat, and a couple of reasons why it is not named Snug Ride. Most importantly, because the base is a little bit different. So when you have a GoMax base, which we'll talk about in just a second, it is specific to the GoMax. You cannot use it on Snug Ride seats. As we said, just starting to be available now at a $229 price point. Couple of features with this particular one, couple of different fabric options. As we said, you're going to see this one at 4 to 30 pounds already. It meets the new regulations. It does have the 4-position adjustable recline. The recline adjusts. There's a little blue handle just under the fabric. You may or may not be able to see it kind of on the baby's left side there. What a cute kid, by the way. You can adjust the reclines. There are 4 positions, as we said. And then the really cool part about this is when you release from the vehicle, the lower anchors store automatically. So they're going to just retract right up into their stored position right away. You can buy this seat with or without a base. So there are some families that still like the base and the features that come with that, especially for grandparents or others in the family to make sure that they can use them. So it is available as an option if you wish to do so. 4-position, as we said, with the recline, really important. If you answer the quiz later on, you may want to remember that one. With the GoMax as well, there is also a frame stroller and travel system. So you could buy the stroller frame for it. It does accept all Graco infant car seats. So there's a couple of things we want to touch on here. Number one, the stroller frame accepts all Graco infant seats. So if you have a Snug Ride or others, you can use this particular frame. With the base, as we mentioned, the base for GoMax is specific to the infant car seat GoMax. It does not is not compatible with our previous Snug Ride models. Online, if you go on to the GoMax section on our website, there is also a compatibility chart that you can look at there. That's available now for download. One thing that I will touch on, and we'll touch again a little bit later as we get into the manuals and stuff, is we are aware there's been a couple of gaps in manuals online. There was an internal kind of hiccup with some of our stuff not filtering the way it should. So if you go to download the GoMax instruction manual right now, I hope you can read Spanish because that's the only one that's available. The English one will be uploaded soon. Our team is aware of it. They're working on it, and they're going to get everything updated as soon as possible. Another recent launch for us is the Easy Turn 360 2-in-1 convertible car seat. So that is just also hitting market now, available in store shortly. Excuse me, need a little water to keep going here today. So with the convertible seat, there are 2 modes of use. So rear facing, obviously up to 40 pounds, and then forward facing harness from 26.5 to 65 because we do meet the new regulations. One important call out for Easy Turn 360 is that you do not use the tether rear facing. The tether is only used in forward facing mode. It is a quite slim design as well. So if you've had a chance to see this seat, it is a little slimmer than some of the other rotating seats on market. It does have the snug lock technology as well and the in-right latch that everybody loves as opposed to the hook anchors. Yes, we hear you very often about how much you prefer the in-right latches. New coming up shortly to be released and should start hitting stores in May of this year is the Forever DLX Slim. So about 10% slimmer design at the cup holders than the Forever DLX model. So a little bit slimmer for those back seats, really need a little bit more space. Rapid remove fabrics, which we love. Push button again, in right latch. It has the rotating cup holders and of course the snug lock technology as well. And given that it's hitting stores in May of this year, we do meet the new regulations. So you're going to see that 26.5 pound forward-facing minimum on this particular seat. Forever DLX, there were a couple of changes to this one. As we said, again, you're going to see some of those bolsters and other things on this particular model. That's why you're seeing a little bit of new stuff here. Regulation update, of course, as well, with the 26.5 pounds forward facing. All the good stuff that you guys love, which include rapid remove seat pads, in-right latch, the 2 cup holders, and I love the fuss-free harness holders as well. So it kind of keeps that harness out of the way while you get the kids in and out. Don't ask questions about the fabrics just yet. We're going to talk about that in just a couple minutes. Extend to fit, we've added this one in here as well because you will see some changes to the seat. The good news is that compact front to back, it hasn't really changed, but it has gotten a little bit wider at the top. And I think you can see that from the image here. So it's a little bit wider, but still very compact front to back when you're looking to install it. What hasn't changed is it still goes up to 50 pounds rear facing. So you have that extension panel to give about 5 inches of extra legroom for the kids as they start to grow a little bit bigger. Still 6-position recline, steel reinforced frame, and we have all the features that you guys love with the in-right latch and all that fun stuff as well. We throw Turn to Me in here because it is still out on the market. It's going to change as well. Obviously, we're going to update the weight limit on this one, but this is our all-in-one version. And again, to keep everybody familiar, you can use this seat installed rear-facing to rotate. Once you go forward facing, then you're installing through the seat back so the seat will not rotate in forward facing mode. It only rotates rear facing. It's always important to remember. I have had techs ask me why, and that's why it's not designed to rotate forward facing, only rear, this particular model. Forever DLX Grad, this is our dipping the toes into the 5-in-1 seats. So there are 5 different modes of use of this particular seat. You will see we've got rear facing, forward, high back, backless booster, and then that 5th mode is the seatbelt trainer. Seatbelt trainer can be used with or without the seat. So you can have it in the seat installed, or you can be used on its own. For the seatbelt trainer, a minimum of 5 years of age and 50 pounds to be able to use it. I'm going to preemptively stop all of you from asking this question right now. No, the right guide is not coming back at this time. No, the seatbelt trainer is not available on its own. We love it. You love it. Understand all of that. Thank you for that. And yes, we do keep mentioning it over and over and over and over to everybody. There is an update to the newer version of the 5-in-1 with the seatbelt trainer, and that update is as follows. So again, this is where we need to ensure that we're following the instructions, the labels, all that stuff that are on the seat to make sure that we're with the proper guidance. So on the newer versions that are being released to the new standard, the seatbelt trainer must be installed when the seat is used in rear-facing mode. So you must use it now in rear-facing mode for seats that meet the new regulation. Do not use a seatbelt trainer in forward-facing mode, high back booster or backless booster mode. So a little bit of change from the version that's been on market for about, I want to say about 1.5 years to the new version that meets the new standards. You're also going to see, as you can look at the picture here, bolster on the side to help with the side impact testing as well. So very important that you follow the instructions on product as well as the manual to ensure that you have the correct use for the seatbelt trainer with this seat. Now we want to introduce a pop of some new colors that are coming out. So there's some new fashions and patterns that are available, and we've had some really good feedback on these so far. So the first one is the Geo Pop. You're going to see this on some different strollers. You're going to see it as kind of a fun fashion on some of our booster seats, and there will also be a version available on the 4-in-1 seat as well. Fun colors, lots of different features to these. Love it. I've had some, as you said, some outstanding feedback on just getting away from some of the black and gray and introducing some new colors to stuff. Splatter Art, another one that is available. You're going to see it on the Ready to Jet compact stroller, along with Turbo Booster 2.0, and also on our Duodiner DLX high chair. And last but certainly not least is the Lilac Mod. A number of different products that are going to have this one. Oh, again, lots of love for this one. Love the color. The color is fantastic. The little features as well. So very excited about these. You will start seeing them shortly in stores, and love the fact that we're adding a splash of color to some of these great products. So I want to go through highlight some of the stuff about us as a company. We get asked a few of these questions, so we like to touch on them as much as we can. So for us, yes, we do have our own crash testing facility. We are lucky to have it. It's an outstanding facility, very well maintained, and staffed with outstanding technicians who work real hard. So our facility is located in Atlanta, Georgia, not too far from our corporate head office. Our Center for Engineering Excellence includes a full crash test facility. You see some of our older setup here with the previous version of the test bench. We obviously have all the new stuff set up in there now. Includes a full crash test facility, home product testing, as well as testing for strollers and many other products. We're very lucky to have this facility, and our staff there do an excellent job of running these tests for us. We are a big supporter of the National Child Passenger Safety Program. We have a team of over 90 certified techs across Newell Brands, and this includes a number of techs at our call center as well. Speaking of which, our consumer care teams are available Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And important, if you're trying to reach them, there are two different phone numbers. So if you're calling for Graco, our consumer care number is the 1-800-345-4109. If you have baby jogger questions, then you're looking at 1-800-241-1848. These are obviously on product. These are in the manuals as well. So the numbers are available. You can go to the websites and find them. Reach out if you have questions, but again, make sure that you're calling the correct number to get those questions answered. Otherwise, if you're trying to ask Graco baby jogger questions, there's going to be some misunderstanding. You'll get transferred around a couple times to get to the right people. A couple of things about us. So our Protect Plus for Graco is a extensive array of testing. So it is a combination of the most rigorous crash tests that help to protect your little one in front, side, rear, and rollover crashes. The important note here, of course, and I think everyone is well aware, is that side impact testing does not apply to booster seats. And then Baby Jogger, we run through essentially the same thing, but like to call it a different thing because, different company, different name. So Protect Plus you'll see on Graco products, and True Test Plus is what you're going to see on Baby Jogger. Very similar testing to make sure that we're going over and above what the regulated minimum testing is. Instruction manuals. So I did touch on this one a little bit earlier, and we'll go through one more time here. We are very much aware that some of the manuals are not available currently, and our teams are working really hard to get that updated. We know how important the manuals are for everybody, for everyone in the field. So if you visit our website, whether it's gracobaby.com or babyjogger.com, if you choose the seat that you want to look up and then scroll towards the bottom of the page is where you will find the download links. Again, please be patient, but do let me know if you find ones that are not updated. They are working on them. We're trying to get that little glitch fixed up so that all the manuals will be available. Couple things that we pull from our frequently asked question section. The first one is replacement after a crash. And both Graco and Baby Jogger recommend replacing your car seat after any crash if the seat was occupied or not. If you go to either of the websites, you can go under the frequently asked questions section. There's a little part down there that says, do I need to replace my car seat after an accident? And there is a downloadable letter that you can share with insurance companies there. Inflatable seatbelt policy. This slide's a little busy, so we will take a minute to go through here. So Graco and Baby Jogger allow the use of Ford and Lincoln inflatable vehicle seatbelts. These are kind of going away, but are still out there, so we want to make sure that we touch on them. A couple of important things here. Number one is do not use on an infant car seat with the base. I think that's fairly self-explanatory that we don't want an inflatable seatbelt in between the bottom of the carrier and the base itself. We also don't want to use an inflatable belt with any snug lock or shoulder belt lock-offs. They can be used on all of our booster seats. For infant car seats, just because of obvious features with these, if you have a vehicle that has inflatable belts, for the infant car seats, we would recommend using the lower anchors whenever possible instead of that. For Baby Jogger City Turn and Graco Turn to Me, inflatable belts should be used forward facing only. And that's simply because the belt pass on those are kind of tight on the rear facing. It'll be really tough to get those belts through there. Installations beside each other. I always enjoy spending a bit of time on this as well. The car seats can touch when installing car seats side by side, but they cannot overlap. I hope that's reasonably self-explanatory as to why. Car seats move, kids move. We want to make sure that there's no potential pinch points in there where we could cause an injury to a child. So making sure that we don't have that overlap. I get a lot of questions from techs, kind of asking about approval of installation and stuff. And really, it is difficult a lot of times to tell from pictures. We do our best, and we're going to try to help you out as much as we can. But for the most part, this is the guidance we're going to ask you guys to follow, which is very simply, if they're lightly touching, cool, keep going. Make sure they're not overlapped for safety. That is about the best I can give you in most cases when it comes to this. I think there's a lot of questions around 3 across installs. A lot of people are a little bit worried about it sometimes. I know most of us at some point in time have crammed 3 adults in the back of a car. If you can cram 3 adults in the back of a car, we will probably touch back there. Everybody's using their own seatbelt, so everyone is safe, and everybody is going to move at some point in time. The other thing we just can't control, obviously, is parents are just rude and they don't tell us what kind of crash they plan to get into before they go. So we can't necessarily give you the best advice of where to install your car seat or how to best protect the child if we don't know what crash you're going to get into. The reality is that we test obviously for frontal impacts, we test for near side collisions. We can't necessarily give you all the information on everything else. We know how they work, we understand how things function in a crash, and kids are safe using car seats. So make sure the kids are safe in the car seat, make sure the seat is installed, and make sure that they're harnessed as best we can. I think we get a little bit overly hung up on some of the minute details from time to time. Car seats do an outstanding job of protecting kids in a crash. So let's make sure that they're installed as best they can, make sure the kids are using them. Let's encourage those parents and caregivers instead of, drilling down on the smallest of detail. Give them a big high five and tell them they did a great job. This is one of my favorite ones to talk about at conferences because I usually look at some of my other friends in the manufacturer world and smile and then start talking about this. And that is, can my car seat touch the back of the vehicle front seat? For us, the answer is yes, as long as there are 3 conditions that are met. The first one is the vehicle manufacturer allows it, and we do think that's an important consideration. Number 2, the contact does not interfere with the installation angle or tightness of the seat. And number 3 is that there is no interference that would create pressure or force on the car seat itself. So you can lightly touch it, that's fine, as long as the vehicle manufacturer does allow it. We want to make sure that we're not driving that seat back into the child's car seat that could interfere with the angle or the installation at all. And always remember, unfortunately I have to point this out for some people, that yes, that positioning is going to change if you put a full grown adult in the front seat. It's going to come back a little bit. So let's make sure that we're using it correctly and make sure that that gap or space is still there when the front seat is occupied as well. Vehicle seat protectors, we have done some testing in the past on this, and we are very comfortable to say that Graco and Baby Jogger does allow the use of a car seat mat, towel, or thin blanket under and behind the car seat. This is designed to obviously protect the vehicle seat. It's also designed to catch all the crumbs and other things that are going to fall down over time, because we do see that. Here's the thing, you must be able to achieve a secure installation with that in place. So if you have installed it with your car seat mat, your towel, or thin blanket in place, fantastic, you're good to go. I've had some questions from technicians in the past who've kind of Houdini'd these things, where you've installed the seat nice and tight, and then you kind of like that magic trick where you pull the tablecloth out and the dishes stay on. Yes, it's going to be looser if you do that, and that's normal because you've removed something. If I install the car seat and then I cut away some of the fabric from the vehicle, it's going to be loose as well. So let's make sure that if you are installing it and it is installed with this product in place and it's tight, you're good to go. Famous questions we get about the turbo booster armrest screws. There are a couple of them, and we continue to address them. There are a couple of different versions available now. So if you go to some of the stores, you may see them hanging on the shelf with the screws already installed. So there are some versions that come with the screws installed. Excuse me, for some of the older versions of turbo booster or some of our more basic versions, they are not installed. Now, a couple of things about that. Yes, the screws did come with it. They were probably with the instruction manual, which the parents didn't read either. So all of it got discarded, happens from time to time. Yes, you must use them. So they are what is used to keep the armrest secured. You need to use them, and no, you cannot go to the local hardware store to see what you can find that's close enough. If the parent or caregiver has misplaced the screws or most likely thrown them in the trash, please contact our Graco consumer care team and they will send out a replacement set. We get a number of techs who reach out asking for bulk of these things to have in kits and stuff. We will try to help you where we can. I can't send you hundreds of them. We just don't have them. Our factory tries to keep up with manufacturing them. We do have some in stock, but it's a reasonably low number. So we are working on that. It's something we've talked to our team about, maybe getting a few more of these just to have in stock and try to have whenever we can. So please have please have the parent or caregiver reach out if they need them. If you as a tech need some, you can reach out to myself and we'll try to help you out. No promises, but we'll get you some if we can. Useful life and expiry date. So again, super busy slides. So we'll take a second to talk through this one. You can always tell the slides I made versus the nice clean ones the marketing team made. This is obviously one of mine. So for our all-in-one seats, we have 10 years from the date of manufacturing. Convertible seats, also 10 years from the date of manufacturing, and we highlight that as most because there are some that are a little bit different. So for the seats that don't have a steel reinforced frame, such as Transitions and Contender, they have a 7-year useful life as opposed to 10. Our booster seats are 10 years from date of manufacturing. Combination seats, again, 10 years of date of manufacturing, and our infant seats are 7 years. Yes, this is not only printed on the seats, somewhere ingrained in there, but it is also in our manuals as well. Parents don't know this because they're still in the original wrapper they came in and they didn't read them. But the useful life or expiry is in there. And for all of our seats, it is from date of manufacturing. It is not from date of purchase. We do offer a CPS purchase program. It has been very popular since we launched this a couple years ago. We've had a lot of requests for it, and we're very happy to be able to do this for technicians in the field. So one time per year, please feel free to reach out to myself. My contact information will be here now. We'll put it up again at the end. You can get a code once per year for a discount of 25%. The code has to be applied to orders through our website. So you can't take it to a store and order and try to get a 25% discount. You have to do it off of our website. So there may be certain fashions that are specific to some retailers that are not available. You would have to order just what's on the website. So send your request to myself. Please include your certification number. Copy of the certification is easier. If you can just scan your Safe Kids certification and send it to me, that would be great. We'll get the code to you as soon as possible. We try to turn these around real quick, usually within a day or so. Once you send it to me, we try to get it to you. If I took a day off, I apologize. We'll get it to you in a couple of days. Thrilled to do this for technicians. We know you guys do a lot of work in the field. We appreciate it. So this is our way of saying thank you. And as per usual, I've probably gone a little faster than I should have, but I do again want to say a big thank you to all the technicians and instructors for everything that you guys do to help parents and caregivers travel safely in vehicles. My contact information is up here on the screen. That's my cell phone number. You can call, you can text. I don't care. Just let me know who you are if you're texting me, because it's kind of weird to answer questions if you don't know who you're talking to. Email is there as well, so you can send me an email if you have questions. As I said, thank you again so much. We were happy to provide some updates on Graco and Baby Jogger. If there are any specific questions you guys have, feel free to reach out to myself, and if I don't have the answer, we will get one for you. We are very proud to support the National Child Passenger Safety Board and all the great work that group does that I'm very happy to be a part of. as well as the CPS and all my manufacturer friends. It's great to collaborate with everyone and work together. So with that, Steph, I will hand it back to you because I'm guessing we probably have a couple of questions.
We do have questions. The first couple questions I just wanted to answer is, Mandy, you had asked about the recording, and the recording of today's webinar will be on carseateducation.org by next week, usually probably even this week, but for sure by next week. And then as far as handouts, we did not have the handouts for today. I'll talk a little bit more with James when we are done to see if possibly we can get the handouts on the email that will come to you from Zoom tomorrow afternoon after 2 p.m. And we'll see if we can get those handouts on there as well. But a couple of questions for you, James. Jim is asking, are the updated 30-pound infant car seats on the market yet? He's wanting to add them to his training car seats.
Yes, you will start seeing some of those on the market now. GoMax, for example, is available at 30 pounds, and you will see some of the other ones also that are updated now too.
Perfect. And then Melissa has a question and then a comment, and her question is, what will the new rear-facing standing height limit be on the Contender, and when do you anticipate implementing that?
I don't believe that the standing height has changed. I don't have the answer for you offhand. I'll have to get it for you, to be honest. So
okay.
I don't want to make it up. We'll make
Yeah.
sure you get your right info for you.
Yeah, and Melissa, you see James's email there. Go ahead and email James and he'll make sure to get that answer to you. And then her comment was to please continue making the Century carry-on. It offered that excellent newborn fit and it's had that very attainable price point. So that was just a comment as well.
And I'll just touch on that one real quick as well.
Sure.
And I know that a lot of techs were very fond of Century. We were as well, but it has been discontinued. So Newell is not making Century products any longer. The reasoning behind that was the resources were, for us, just better spent on Graco and Baby Jogger. So it takes a lot, obviously, to put out car seats and baby products. So we're using those resources for these two brands. So unfortunately, we will not be offering Century products any longer.
Okay. A couple of questions about the recline, the bubble indicator versus the level line. Andrea was asking, is there a reason the level lines are being used versus the other indicators like the bubbles or the balls? And this makes some of the slimmer front to back seats much larger and less likely to be recommended.
Typically, when you see these level lines versus the bubble, it is unfortunately as much of a cost factor as anything else. So we're trying to keep costs down, obviously, as much as possible on seats, and it's a lot more expensive to create a bubble level than it is to create a line level. We understand it can be a little bit more challenging, and you'll only see those on certain platforms. Typically, we try to use the bubble indicators as much as possible.
Okay. Tip asked, and there were a couple questions as well, and I believe that you went over this, James, but just to make sure she gets her answer, is the Go Max compatible with Graco stroller adapters for strollers?
Yes, so there is, I would encourage everyone to go online to our website. There is a compatibility chart that you can download there or just look at if you want to view it online, and it'll give you the answers for compatibility for all of our different products.
Perfect. Arden asked, if there's a child that's floating around that 40-pound mark, would they need to be weighed constantly, or do they use the second insert until they are solidly over 40 pounds?
No, I mean, it's of course a judgment. We know we get weights usually from parents, so it may not be 100% accurate. 40 pounds is your guideline, so as close as you can to it. We would always say that obviously we put it there for safety reasons, but a lot of these restrictions are based on testing to make sure that we're using them correctly for that particular approach. So if it's 40.1 pounds, well, you're as close as you can be. Let's be realistic and use your best judgment.
Okay. James, can you go over for Janet why the infant expiration date is different than the others?
Yeah, so a couple of different reasons. So our car seats that do not have those steel frames are typically 7 years versus the steel frame seats that go up to 10 years. Similar for the infant seats, what we have found over time is that they tend to take a little bit more abuse than some of the other seats initially. They're in and out a lot. They're in and out of the carriers a lot, and they're in and out of the base quite often. So it's a lot more of that. I know people have kind of snarkily said in the past that car seat expiry dates are just so we can sell you more seats. But the reality is there's a lot of testing that goes into it, and we want to make sure that the product is going to perform correctly for the length of time that we indicate it's usable for.
Okay. And then Terry asked whether you know this, James, or if she should email you at your email there. But the width of the Forever DLX Slim, do you know what the width of that seat is in inches?
Offhand, I do not, but if you want to send me
Okay,
an email, I will definitely get that information for you.
okay. Are there any seats that are also that you know of rear impact tested? Jacqueline is asking. She's never able to find good information on that topic.
Sure. So let's always be cautious about how we consider rear impact testing as well, is that it's not regulated here. So rear impact is done on all of our products. It is done to an internal standard that's created, and other manufacturers may have slightly different versions of it. But for us, if you're buying a Graco product or a Baby Jogger product, we have done that over and above testing, and that would include rear impact testing.
Okay. Linda asked if you knew offhand if you had any seats that go above the 49 inches in forward facing mode.
No, we do not. We do a very extensive fit to child, fit to vehicle study. We've had experts who've worked with us for years, who've handcrafted a number of dummies, and that's just what we're comfortable with. So that 49 inches is kind of, once you get past that and the harness height, you're not looking necessarily at a great fit any
Okay. And then, of course, a question on the seatbelt trainer. Does that count as a booster to comply with state laws?
longer. Yes, so it is tested and certified as a booster seat. Again, we do caution that we recommend not using the seatbelt trainer until the child is a minimum of 5 years and 50 pounds versus our booster mode on our seats, which is 4 years and 40 pounds. But it is tested as a booster seat. It goes through all the same testing a booster seat would. So yes, absolutely.
Okay. And then a couple of questions about the weights of the convertible seats. Can you go over those weights one more time for us, James?
The starting weights or
Yeah, the starting weights, please.
yeah, so on the convertible seats, it will be 26.5 pounds, which is the minimum required by the regulation. And then the convertible seats, for the most part, will go up to 65 pounds harness mode. None of our seats are going to exceed 65 pounds forward facing in the harness. So typically what you'll see on our convertible seats will be 4 to 40 pounds for most of them. There are a couple like Extend to Fit, like City Turn that go to 50 pounds rear facing. And then our seats will be 26.5 to 65 pounds forward facing.
Okay. Quick question, Claire is wondering, is there a place to order Graco seats institutionally?
At this time, no. We continue to have some discussions as to how we can potentially do that. There are some distributors that we use that might be able to offer you some discounted pricing on that. If you want to reach out to me, we can try to put you in touch with them.
Okay. And then a quick comment suggestion of possibly changing the packaging of the turbo boosters so that the armrests can be delivered already screwed on was just a possible comment, if you have thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's definitely something our team has looked at. As I said, there are some kind of hang tag versions that you'll see at Target or other stores now where the armrests are already installed with the screws. For some of the others, the reality for us is that it is a packaging issue. We're trying to fit these in as many as possible into shipping containers to get them over here. So that's why they are the way they are. They've been designed like that for years, and they have worked very well in the majority of cases. It's just unfortunate that parents like to throw those screws out for some reason. But we continue to look at different options. As we said, there are some that have them installed, and we keep working towards it.
Sure, sure. And then lastly, the last question that I have here in front of me was just a question. If there was a technician who needed 2 car seats with the tech discount, would they be able to get 2 discount codes that year and then none the following year if they needed 2 for the first year?
You can order more than 1 seat, so it's not just 1 seat, 25% discount. You can order more than 1 seat. If you have some extenuating circumstances, please feel free to reach out to me. We're not horrible about these things. I think we're pretty reasonable to deal with. So just reach out and let me know how we can help.
I think that's very true about you for sure. And as we're talking, there are a couple more questions, so I'll keep going if you're okay with that, James.
Yeah, please. I went too fast, so go
I
ahead.
know you're good. And this is actually a great question. Why doesn't the car seat expiration time frame begin once the seat starts being used versus including the time that it's sitting in the shelf on a box? Amna has had several parents buy expired seats.
If you're buying an expired seat, that thing must have been sitting around for a real long time.
Yeah.
But the reason that we do it this way is that the seat starts being handled from the day it leaves the factory. So it's going through temperature changes, it's going through different factors like that from day one. The packaging engineering team does a great job of protecting car seats, but the reality is they do get thrown a lot. They do get thrown around a lot, in warehouses and stuff. And they're not always handled delicately, shall we say. So one of the contributing factors to all of this with expiration dates is the expansion and contraction of the plastics. So you're going from hot environments to cold, damp environments to cold, to different climate controlled environments to warehouses where you're seeing all these different things, and it does have an effect. So that's why we do it from the date of manufacture versus the date of sale, because you do see some of these things that are going to have an effect on the seat.
Great. That's a great explanation. And then lastly, Claire is wondering about cup holders. Do any of your new seats have foldable or compressible cup holders that are already installed? Because cup holders seem to be a forgotten piece by the caregivers.
Yes, a lot of the seats now you're going to see have this. Wow, I can't speak English anymore, apparently. A lot of them already have the cup holders installed. We're going to start seeing a lot more of. Our team got very creative. There's some that kind of rotate or move around a little bit. There are some that are kind of these half little pieces that clip on and can rotate back in. So it's not necessarily with all of our seats anymore that you have to fully install them. You're going to see a pretty wide assortment of the seats coming with them already installed now.
Great. Well, very good. Well, those are the questions that have come in, James. Is there anything else that you wanted to address before we close out?
No, I just again want to say thank you to yourself, Stephanie, for being flexible, to everyone who was able to join. We were very happy to be able to do this today and bring the information. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions we weren't able to answer or anything we can help you guys with. But again, thank you to everybody for everything you do for parents and caregivers to help kids